What's up guys, it's Roger, and today I'll be teaching you how to use your Blink Warlock in Trials of Osiris on Eternity. Now Eternity is a pretty darn good map for our Blink for one big reason. There's not a lot of roofs, not a lot of ceilings above us, so we can blink as high as we want very freely. There's a lot of good gaps and angles that we can use to get across with our blink, and also our blink is very, very good at one thing on this map, which is rotating. And I'm going to show you that especially because I'm going to be using a sniper build here today, so why don't we go ahead and start breaking that down. It's going to be centered here around the Macabre. This is my favorite sniper rifle in the game. It just feels so good to me, the actual feel of the gun, the sound design on it, it all feels great to me. Now, here's the role I have. Corkscrew rifling, steady rounds, no distractions, and moving target. And we don't want to sleep on Surge Party here. That's the origin trait. It says this weapon is granted faster aim down sight speed and movement speed while aiming down sights when no allies are near. So if you can just get to a place where you're alone, and I think it's within like 10 meters or so, it's not very far that you need to have your teammates away from you. So that means your teammates can still be pretty close to you, you can play together, but as long as they're not absolutely grabbing your booty cheeks, then you're going to get the benefits of this origin trait. That comes into handy quite a bit. It kind of makes it where you don't need snapshot as much. I'm not much of a snapshot player. I do like snapshot on my snipers, don't get me wrong, but I would rather have something in the first slot like no distractions, where I get a lot less flinch, you know? And then after that, moving target makes it where I have increased movement speed and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sights. This is just the perfect role to me. And now we'll go down here to my weapon mods, because I will say I do have a radar booster on. This is very good on this map. People are going to sit very far away from you. When you have this radar booster on, it's going to make you have a little bit of farther range on that radar. So you can see them, and they're not necessarily going to see you on their radar. When you get that information from your radar, it's just what you're going to need as a top tier player to really depict exactly where your enemies are, especially when you're holding down a lane or you want to get aggressive, so you know exactly where they are, and you can make the best strategy around that information. Now pairing with that, I am going to be using the Ace of Spades. This is a 140 RPM exotic hand cannon. Now the Ace of Spades is always pretty solid. It lacks a little bit of range sometimes it feels like, but especially when you get Memento Mori popping, it can go crazy. Now I should say it doesn't really lack crazy range compared to one of the other 140s. When I say when it lacks ranges, this is a very long range map. A lot of people are using pulse rifles and scout rifles if they're not using a sniper. So when you want to face off against those people, it can be a little hard. You need to really use your blink to position yourself well that you can get into the range of the 140, kill them with it, then once you have Memento Mori, you can actually start challenging them at those pulse and scout ranges a little bit more effectively. Now, I'm not telling you to challenge at those ranges because, of course, that's going to be more optimal ranges for them to fight at, and unless you want to get your pussy absolutely just clapped up and slapped up, then you don't want to challenge in their ranges. You need to make sure you're using your blink to get in the proper range for this 140 and fight in it. You can go ahead and check out the armor and the mods here. You can see I am using Astrocyte Verse. Now you don't need to use Astrocyte Verse when you're doing a Blink Sniper playstyle for one big reason. You don't need to aggress upon your enemies, you don't need to keep your radar as you go through a blink, which is one of the big things that Astrocyte Verse gives you. I always recommend you use your Astrocyte Verse if you're going to do a very aggressive Blink Shotgun playstyle. But when you're doing a Blink Sniper playstyle, you more so are using your blinks to reposition around the map and get to different angles. When you want to use those different angles, you don't necessarily need the extra blink distance to get there. However, this is such a big map that I do recommend you use your Astrocyte Burst so that you can use those longer blinks and the lower cooldown on your blinks so you can actually get around the map and reposition as fast as possible. Most of the focus today for our build is going to be coming from our guns and our armor, which I already focused for you guys. But we do still need to put some focus onto our Void 3.0, so let's go ahead and break that down. Starting here, we have the absolute bussy popper known as the Nova Bomb Vortex. This is very good, of course, for shutting down those bubbles, shutting down those Well of Radiance, and you're going to see that a few times in the gameplay today, but even when you can just get those picks with this in certain rounds, it's very, very useful. After that, we have a Healing Rift, Blink, Pocket Singularity, because that's our only choice, thanks a lot Bungie, and then an Axion Bolt. Axion Bolts are very good for chasing out your enemies, and I'll show you and point out for you throughout this gameplay, a very big part of the strategy for today is you can get a body with your sniper rifle, or even get a pick with a nice headshot very fast with your sniper rifle. I'll show you that a bunch of times. After you get that pick, what you want to do is throw your Axion Bolt in, which is going to chase the other enemies off of that res. It's very good for that, and especially if you body them, then the Axion can just finish them off. I'll show you that as we go through the gameplay today, but that's the strategy you're looking for with this Axion Bolt. I do have on Feed the Void so we can proc Devour, that's 2 fragment slots, and then Shout of the Old Gods, or as we call them around here, Clarence. Clarence is also going to give you 2 fragment slots, very good for locking your enemies down and holding them in a certain place. For our fragments, we have an Echo of Dilation and Echo of Persistence. I always recommend you use these 2 fragments. Echo of Dilation is going to give you that very in-tune, high-def radar. With that radar, you can depict exactly where your enemies are through the walls, and then pick how you want to use that information to play around your enemies. After that, like I said, Echo of Persistence, this is going to make your Devour go from 10 seconds on the initial proc to 15 seconds. Those extra 5 seconds are absolutely insane. Keep in mind this does lose you 10 recovery, so make sure you're keeping yourself at 100 recuv. After that, we have Echo of Expulsion. If you can't manage to kill somebody with your Clarence, your Pocket Singularity, or your Axiom Bolt, they're going to explode a second time. That also gives you plus 10 Intellect, so you can't go wrong with those raw stats. And finishing it off, we do have Echo of Remnants. That's just going to make our Axiom Bolt chase for a longer duration. Honestly, I don't know the exact time on this, but I swear your Axiom Bolts can chase for like 20 seconds or something crazy when you have this on. They will chase these guys from Kalamazoo to Missouri. I'm telling you, it goes crazy far. I don't know where Kalamazoo is, to be honest. I just like don't know. Is it real? I'm pretty sure it's real. I think it's a real place. We're not going to worry about that right now, but like, I'm telling you, it chases far. So that is the entire build. If you have any questions, go ahead, leave those in the comments, or join the Blinkville Discord server. I'm going to have that linked in the top right and in the description. We'd love to see you. Make some Blink Warlock or some Blink Hunter friends. Even if you're a stinky little crayon munching Titan, you can still join and be my little buddy. Being said, I do want to say next week is going to be Iron Banner. We do like to do all Blink Iron Banner community events. I'm planning to do that, I think, next Thursday. If you are interested in joining into that all Blink Iron Banner event, make sure you're in the Discord server and watching the announcements channel. I'm going to @, everybody in the server, and I'm going to have an event going up there. So if you are interested in that, please join the server. I'd love to see you guys and play with you, and you can carry me, huh? That sounds like a fun time. I'm definitely not going to carry you. You're going to carry me, right? But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to leave me a like at any point in the video, I'd very much appreciate that. It really just tells YouTube, hey, I'm enjoying the video, and they can shove it to more people, and I really appreciate that. Or click the join button below the video if you want to check out some extra little membership perks that you can get. But all that being said, I think we're ready to get in this gameplay, so why don't we go ahead and blink on into it. So as you can see here, I'm using my blink as quickly as I can to try to get to lane. I like to fight right lane when I spawn in this spawn. Usually there's people outside hiding behind Testy 1 or Testy 2, that's what I call those balls out there, and you can get a nice pick on them, but I had to fall back with my blink really quick, got a nice headshot here, immediately switched to my hand cannon because I assumed they were going to push my teammate while he was getting that res. I was correct in that assumption, was able to take that guy out, procced my Memento Mori, was going to sit on top of this other guy's res so I could try to pick that up, but luckily the teammate took the last guy out and it was very nice. If I spawn on this side, this is the best push I like to do, is push forward like this, take out one guy, hit a body on the second one unfortunately, but that's okay, we got the pick, right? Now we're looking to keep that pick, keep our enemies off of it the best we can. We take out that second guy there, and I'm looking for the last man. He's weakened by Clarence, boom, taken out pretty easily there. So you can see what I mean. Once you get that pick, it's very good. Then you can actually sit where you are. But if you miss your snipes, as I'll show you later on in the video, that's okay too. What you're doing is using your blink to reposition. Here's the combo I was saying with your Axiom Bolt and your snipes. I kill the first guy with the snipe, I see where the second guy is going, so I throw my Axiom Bolt there to cut his positioning off. If he can't rotate that way because the Axiom Bolt, he has to turn back or take damage, and my teammates can kill them easily. I follow my teammates up there really well, and we take out the last two. Getting a sniper pick is obviously something that opens up a round very, very quickly and can let you guys flourish right after that. But you can see sometimes you're gonna miss your snipes. That happens to the best of us, and I'm definitely not the best of us when it comes to our snipes, so I do it a lot. I missed both my snipes there, so what I want to do now, get to the best place in this map that's gonna let me flourish with my 140 RPM hand cannon range, and that is this hallway actually. You can see this hallway if you peek out to the left or to the right. Either way, you're going to be in the optimal 140 range. Since I took that first guy out, I have my Memento Mori procced, so I wanted to use that if I could. I blink up top, I see him on my radar to my left, I take a peek, boom, knock him in the head for a lot of damage, 88 there, 2 bodies and 1 head, takes them out when you have Memento Mori, so keep that in mind. Memento Mori lets you hit like crazy, especially if you can weaken them. I think you can two-tap somebody because it hits for 100, or not over 100 sometimes, with that Memento Mori to the head, so keep that in mind. Now you can see this guy is kind of over there just hiding. My teammates are taking good shots on him. I wanted to see if I could place a rift, get a Clarence out there, and fight them on this right side, maybe get a pick. Unfortunately, this guy threw up a Titan shield, so I was kind of like, I don't really want to fight that anymore unless the Titan shield goes away. Now that the Titan shield was away, I hop back into my rift, take some nice taps, and take that guy out. I do want to mention I'm with one of my clan members at this point, Sound for Lunch, shout out to him, amazing player, and he hit me up. He was like, hey, you need anybody on your fire team? I was like, I'm just getting some clips, not really going for a flawless or anything, but hey, if you want to queue up, I'm more than happy to have you with me. He was going for a cool Scorch build right now, throwing in his Celestial Fire, and then he'd follow it up with an Incendiary Nade, I think it was, and then that would just blow his enemies up. It was pretty cool. I have some clips for you guys in here of when he actually gets that combo pulled off, because it was some really cool stuff, and it was a pleasure having him, so thank you, Lunch, for queuing up with me. It was a fun time. Now you can see here, someone's floating. I did hit him in the body. Great team shots coming out of my teammate there to take that guy out. Be careful of floaters. We have to remember the airborne effectiveness stuff just got changed a lot. So that nice floaty warlock playstyle might come back into style a little bit. Blink over this guy's head, push him backwards with pocket singularity, one shot to the head, takes him out. If you don't have any close range guns and you want to get aggressive on somebody, you still can. What you want to do is make sure you have your pocket singularity up, blink over them as close to them as you can. Push them backwards with your pocket singularity. They'll be in a perfect range where you can aim down sights really quickly, tap them once to the head, or maybe once to the head, once to the body, and you'll take them out pretty quickly. Just be careful that if you're using a shotgun or SMG, you don't get your bussy bopped, okay? You gotta be careful of that stuff, know what loadout your enemies have, or you're gonna get yourself fucked. Now this round, I was trying to play a good support build, just throwing my Axion Bolt in there, just holding my range with my sniper so I could help my teammates out. You see the Axion's chasing, I hit a body for my teammate, and he cleans up the last two. I knew he was a reliable player, so I knew I could rely on him if I just did a little bit of damage to clean up for me, and that's exactly what he did. Now here is one of my favorite pushes. You can see I've used this a few times. Blink forward twice, take your shots. I would have got a two-piece there, but that guy had a really nice Titan dash at that exact moment to get himself out of trouble. Throw a rift down, now I have clearance. I see this guy on my left. I kind of bumped myself on that monument on accident, but that's okay. Blink back up really quick. You have to remember, if you fall off the map there, you don't die. Okay, you get like 5 seconds before you actually die, so it's okay if you fall off. Don't freak out too much. Now you can see here, sometimes I didn't want to challenge the right side, especially if it's 3-2 here. I knew these guys were challenging the right side a lot, and that I didn't really have the best chance if I challenged it. So I had to find different options. This is what I'm saying, when you're rotating, you're actually getting different angles with your blink. I got to the left of these guys really quickly. Here's what I'm saying, perfect 140 hand cannon range. Take the first guy out, we have our Memento Mori procced. Punch this guy, shoot him in the nutsack one time, just absolutely testy popped him, you know, his balls just got blown out like the first guy's brains. I can't even say if he's gonna ever live again. He's definitely not having children, I can tell you that much. I just ended an entire lineage with those perfectly placed shots, my friends. I come around the side here, throw this guy up with the pocket singularity, 2 shots to the body, takes him out, boom, we have a Memento Mori. Looking for this red, I hold E on that, 2 shots to the head, that's 91 with both. Nice follow-up from Sound for Lunch there, takes that guy out. I'm looking to blink across the hallway here. Use your blink to get across hallways like this. If you gotta understand, you don't want to show your hitbox at all when you're crossing hallways like that, and blink is a perfect thing for that. A nice little Nova Bomb there is going to pop that guy's ball sack, finish him off. Real nice end of that round there. So this is the first round of a new match. I almost always challenge right side if that's the case. But again, sometimes you're gonna miss your snipes. I tried to slide in on this guy since I had search party active. Actually, I didn't because this guy was riding my asshole. That's something to be careful of. You can see it's gonna take a little longer to aim down sights when search party is not active. But what I did instead, I saw that my teammate had a good pick here. So what I did is threw forward an Axion Bolt, hoping maybe he did a little bit of damage. That was the case, so I picked up a free kill, slid in with my ace of spades, and took out the second guy. You gotta make sure you're thinking about things like that. Is my teammate down right here? Okay, so he also got a trade. Where might he have got that trade? Well, my best guess would be he got the trade straight in front of him because I don't see any ghosts to my right. That's why I threw the Axion Bolt straight in front of me. I was correct in that assumption, and that let me get another pick and win that round pretty flawlessly. You gotta be thinking of stuff like that. When you see your teammates get a trade, do you want to get more aggressive and find where they got that trade? Yes. So you can actually cover that. Get your teammates' res back up while keeping the enemy off their res, you know what I mean? You gotta watch stuff like that. Good team shots there, and that's what I'm saying. You saw that kill that first guy, he was floating in midair like some fat fucking air blimp. You gotta take that stuff out, and you gotta be careful with these airborne effectiveness changes kind of getting rolled back a little bit. I'm saying you're gonna see a lot more floaty warlocks coming back into this meta. It's not a terribly hard playstyle to counter, but it is one that on Eternity especially, you're going to see it a lot. So when you aim down sights on a lane, make sure you're seeing, do they have this kind of floaty warlock on the enemy team? If they do, make sure you kind of look in the sky before you aim down sights for too long, or you might get your bussy bopped, and while that can be kind of pleasant and feel nice, it can also get you killed, so be careful. I'm using my blink to rotate here, hit this guy in the butt cheek, and then my teammates come in, we try to take him out. Nice stasis nade coming out of that guy, cuts off our angle here, and I have to see what can I do now. I shatter the crystal, I use my blink to fly over this nade, and see if I can go into the hallway here, and just keep pushing forward on these guys. I do have my Nova Bomb, and I see that they have a Well of Radiance, maybe they want to use that. After my teammate gets that first pick, I throw out my Axion Bolt. You can see here, boom, perfect Nova Bomb takes them both out. Now why did I throw my Axion Bolt in that situation? Well, I gotta say this is a round where is a very nice clutch up from Lunch for Sound right here. Sound for Lunch, I don't know why I flipped that around, but anyways, I'm throwing this in here because he got an awesome clutch, so I want to show it to you guys because he's a great player. But going back to that Axion Bolt, why did I throw it there? Because I saw my teammate just killed somebody in that hallway. Now, assuming he killed somebody and I see there's 2 more on my radar, I know that the enemies could be close enough that the Axions might track onto them. That's what you want to be looking for with your Axion Bolts. You want to be looking for where the enemy's picks are and how close the rest of the surviving enemies may be. That's when you want to throw out your Axion Bolts, and they actually have quite a large radius where they're going to track. Once they're tracking, you need to follow them up. That's why as soon as I saw that Axion track to the right, I knew exactly where the enemy was, and I knew I needed to push them at that second. Me pushing them in conjunction with my Axion Bolt is going to do one thing. It's going to force them to shoot me or shoot my Axion Bolt. Now, especially when I have 2 teammates left alive, they're just going to usually die because I did my job either way. I did damage or I got some kills. So work with your axiom bolts as if they were another teammate and you'll do very well. Hit a nice snipe on that guy, flew in, hit some nice shots on this guy. Teammates follow me up beautifully here. They take out the rest of them. Sometimes all you need to do in a round is do some damage. If you have some reliable teammates like I did here, then all you got to do is do some damage and let them follow you up. It's a great strategy. Now, this is a place I like to go when heavy spawns. People like to push that staircase because if you don't know on this map, heavy is one of the worst unfair spawns of heavy. Look where that spawns right there. See where I'm standing right now? This wall to my right is exactly where I think heavy should spawn because then both teams would have a fair line of sight on it and you could actually fight over it. But on this map, for some reason, they spawn it down in that little ditch there, and it gives such an advantage to the side that I spawned on in that last clip. I don't understand why Bungie put that there, and to this day, they have not moved it. Now, we shouldn't be surprised because they're not going to move it. They don't change things like that because they don't really care, you know? Bungie is a very set it and forget it type of company, and now that it's spawning there, they're not going to move it, and it's quite unfortunate, but just be careful of that. When heavy does spawn there, and you are on the wrong side of the world, my friend, just be ready to try to get some kind of angle on it. Use your axiom bolts to get them off of it because it's just a very unfortunate place to spawn, and it's just an unfair spawn of heavy. Don't understand why it's there, but hey, it is. Here's another round where Lunch goes ahead and clutches up. You can see there, actually, our random clutched up. I got nice shots on that guy that was bopped up, and good flank on them with my ace of spades. Thing you're always trying to look out for here. I think a Titan comes in, puts his shield down here. These Titans, for some reason, will just challenge with their snipers around their shields like that. If they ever do that, just be waiting, knock their little heads off. That Gabe guy was a little bitch. You're going to see he bags, I think, in like the next 1 clip or 2. But I was just knocking his little head off the entire match. Real pathetic players on the day, I have to say. I got like 4 matches in a row with these Titans just like bagging for some reason. And I never bag first or emote first or anything, but there was just like a lot of bagging Titans. I really don't know why. I don't know if people are starting to recognize me more. I think that might be the case. I got recognized like 3 times, 4 times last weekend in Trials, which obviously isn't a lot compared to like actual big YouTubers, but pretty cool to see. If you do recognize me in a match, I don't have like my direct messaging on, or you can't add me as a friend. I have that stuff on closed just because I don't like dealing with, you know, stinky bitches who like just want to be toxic. I don't like dealing with that stuff. I just want to have a good time. But you know, if you want to do like a salute emote, since that's like the nice emote, then go ahead, drop that emote on me. If you do like a salute, I know now that that is a respectful emote, so I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, thanks for that emote. And I appreciate it. But if you ever do match with me, if you want to leave it in the comment or something, be like, hey, I just matched you, or join my Discord server and be like, just matched you in a match, you know, GG's, I'll definitely say GG back. I really appreciate that stuff. I love to know when I do match you guys because it's really fun. Here's where he's bagging, of course, and then I want to show you at the beginning of next round, I should say, exactly what happens to little bitches who think they can come around and bag me. And there goes your skull, Gabe, so I hope you feel good about that one, little guy. Anyways, keep on pushing on here. I like to push behind first testy here. I call this one first testy, the back one I call second testy. Testies are a great place to sit. They have a good coverage of angles, so you can really sit there and flourish quite well with that in front of you. It's very, very good cover. Just be careful there. The good thing about Blink is that you can get away from testes very easily because you can just blink straight to cover and not really have to worry about it. I love stasis. I love being frozen. The fact that I could really play the game right there by doing a counter of stasis, which was dying, was very fun to me. You know, I like the part where I was frozen and just made into an entire human popsicle and couldn't move. Real great design there, Bungie. I really enjoy that. The counterplay is just a chef's kiss, and then you can kiss my fucking puckering asshole if you think that was good design. Anyways, challenging the hallway here, I threw in an axiom bolt. They just got crazy team shots there. I gotta say, my teammate definitely could have rezzed me if he just stuck himself to the right wall, but I don't think he had the most brain cells, as evidenced by the point that he just got smacked right there. But Lunch right there, that's the ignition plays he was looking for there. I missed my T key and hit a Y key on accident, but hey, let's go. Had to shut him out there. That was awesome combo. Just like, my God. It was so funny when he got that. He was freaking out too. He was like, I did it. I was like, that's the boom we were looking for, baby. Nice job, man. Funny stuff right there. Pretty fun playing with him and just wait until he hit those nice shots. It was some good stuff. You can see my teammates floating here. Lunch is right in front of me. I want to see if I can get a nice hop shot. This is a pretty stable sniper, and especially with in-air shots are much better now with your snipers, so keep that stuff in mind. You know, if you want to do some jump shots with your snipers, it should be more effective now. looking down the radar here, you can see I'm crouching. Oh, I'm always crouching so I can use my dilation radar and pick apart where these enemies are. I saw Lunch got his shields broken and whatnot right there, so I knew there had to be somebody down here. Saw him on my radar, boom, straight shot to the head, take him out. Now that he's dead, we can go ahead and look towards hallway. My teammates got a nice second pick here, and I throw in my Axion Bolt so we can try to chase this guy out. When I saw there was no proc of the Axion Bolt, I knew he was running very hard. I knew where that res was because I just took the guy out with a well-placed sniper shot. So what I do is I use my blinks to get behind this guy before he could even go for that res and just knock his body off into the next dimension. You gotta be thinking about stuff like that. Where was that last res I got? If I got that first pick, I know exactly where it was. Now I need to cover that and don't let him get it for free. Knock that guy's skull off pretty easily there, watching the res, but I want to be careful to my left in case they flank over there. Nice shot straight to his head, take him out. Beautiful stuff right there. And I take out the last guy. Almost missed because I started hip firing. Be careful with your hip firing. It's pretty accurate, but if you're missing shots, then obviously you're going to be missing shots. This is the last clip. It was just a very funny clip, actually. This last one here. Oh, wait. Is there one more clip? Oh, there's one more clip after this. The last clip that I have for you guys here is actually pretty funny. I'll let it play out for you because it was just like, it was really funny. You'll see. I get stuck in this guy's well of radiance that he pops right on my pussy. And then, you know, you'll see, it's a funny clip. But this is the obligatory sword play for you guys. I know you love when I get these sword plays. So here you go, blink in, nice sword slash, take these guys out. Anyways, I'll let this last clip play out for you guys, but while it does, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. If you want to leave me a like or a comment, that kind of stuff really does go a far way. You gotta understand that stuff goes straight to the YouTube algorithm and tells them that you're very much enjoying this video. If you're engaging with it, then they know you're enjoying it. Hell, even if you hate me for some reason and you watch all the way to the end of the video, leave me a dislike. I don't care. That's video engagement too, if I'm being honest with you. Anything helps, and I just really appreciate you guys. I've been having a lot of fun making Destiny content lately, even if it doesn't always work. You know, the game doesn't always work, and oftentimes it's not working, but even still, I try my best to have fun with it, play with friends, play with my members, and get good content for you guys. If you are enjoying the content, just let me know. Tell me if you want any kind of builds. That was a fuck up of a Nova Bomb. We're not going to talk about that. But if there's any kind of builds you want to see me use, any kind of guns you want to see me use, I'm not going to promise that I will use them just because you want me to, but I will put it higher on my priority list. If it's like a bow or something, I'm just telling you now, I'm not going to use that, just because I do not enjoy that kind of weapon. But if there's certain hand cannon you want to see me use, chances are I will go ahead and use that for you, you know? So go ahead, leave me stuff like that. And shout out to Milkshake YouTube right here. I don't know if that's he even actually uploads YouTube or if he just, you know, has the YT in his name there, but hey, I don't know. This is a really funny situation here, and it was a 4-4 match, you can see, so we had a pretty good match right here. So shout out to them. It was a fun match. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you, and as always, have a great day, Guardians.